Picture this. A 7-year-old in Tokyo sits down at his desk after dinner. No reminders, no threats, no bribes. He opens his books, does his homework, and closes them when he's done. His mother didn't ask him once. If you have a child who needs to be pulled, pushed, and practically carried to the homework table every single night, you just felt something reading that, because you know how exhausting that battle is. And you've probably wondered, am I doing something wrong? Here's what I find fascinating. Japanese children aren't born more motivated than yours. They don't have a special gene for discipline, and their parents aren't stricter or harsher than you. The difference is something else entirely, something that starts long before the homework ever appears. In most Western homes, motivation is something we try to create. We use rewards, gold stars, screen time, pocket money for good grades. And when that stops working, we switch to pressure, warnings, consequences, disappointed looks across the dinner table. Here's the problem with all of this. Both strategies, reward and pressure, treat motivation as something that comes from outside the child, something we pour into them, something we have to keep refilling. And the moment we stop pouring, the motivation disappears. Psychologist Edward D.C. at the University of Rochester spent decades studying exactly this. His research found something that changed how developmental scientists think about children forever. External rewards don't build motivation, they replace it. When you pay a child to read, you're not teaching them to love reading. You're teaching them that reading is the kind of thing you need to be paid to do. The reward sends a hidden message. This task isn't worth doing for its own sake. And once that message is received, it's very hard to undo. Japanese parents understand something about motivation that most Western parenting books never mention. It can't be installed from the outside. It has to grow from the inside. And the way they cultivate it comes down to a concept called Kodawari. Kodawari doesn't translate perfectly into English. The closest version is this: a deep personal commitment to doing something with care. Not because someone is watching, not because there's a reward, but because the thing deserves to be done well. You see it everywhere in Japanese culture. The chef who has spent 40 years perfecting one dish. The craftsman who takes 3 hours to wrap a gift. The child who lines up his pencils before he begins. This isn't perfectionism. It's not anxiety. It's pride, internal pride, the quiet satisfaction of caring about what you do. And Japanese parents begin building this in their children extraordinarily early, not through lectures, not through lessons about the importance of hard work, through something much simpler. They let children do things for real, with real effort, and they let them feel the satisfaction of having done it well. A 3-year-old who pours her own water and doesn't spill it feels something. A 4-year-old who ties his own shoes feels something. A 5-year-old who packs her own school bag without being reminded feels something. That feeling is Kodawari beginning to form. The internal experience of, I did this, I did it carefully, and it matters. Here's where the research becomes impossible to ignore. Psychologist Carol Dweck at Stanford University, you may know her as the woman behind growth mindset, spent years studying why some children lean into challenges while others avoid them. Her conclusion didn't point to intelligence. It didn't point to reward systems. It pointed to the relationship a child has with effort itself. Children who had been allowed to struggle, to try, to do things for real from an early age, developed what Dweck calls intrinsic motivation. the drive that comes from inside, the kind that doesn't need a gold star. Children who had been overhelped, over-rewarded, and shielded from difficulty developed the opposite. They needed external fuel to move. And the moment the fuel ran out, they stopped. Japanese parenting through Kodawari builds intrinsic motivation the only way it can actually be built, by giving children real experiences of real effort and letting them feel the reward that comes from inside. Before I give you the practical part, I want to ask you something honest. When your child does something, pours a drink, makes their bed, finishes a small task, what do you say first? Hold that answer. It matters more than you think. In Western parenting, we praise the results. Wow, you're so smart. That's amazing. You're such a good girl. Japanese parents praise the effort and the care. You took your time with that. I could see how carefully you did it. You didn't give up. The difference sounds small. It isn't. When you praise the result, the child learns that the result is what matters. And the next time the result doesn't come easily, they stop trying because the result feels out of reach. When you praise the effort and the care, the child learns that the way they approach things is what matters. And the next time something is hard, they lean in because they know the leaning in is what you value. This is how Kodawari is watered. Not through big speeches, not through motivation posters on bedroom walls. Through the small words you choose after the small moments. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Your child is not unmotivated. They are waiting for the right kind of fuel. Not the fuel that comes from rewards and pressure, which burns fast and leaves nothing behind. The fuel that comes from being trusted to do real things, being allowed to feel the satisfaction of doing them well, and being noticed for the care they bring, not just the result they produce. This week, try one thing. Give your child one real task, something that matters, something slightly harder than you think they can do. Don't help unless they ask. And when they finish, don't say good job. Say, I saw how carefully you did that. Then watch what happens to their face. That expression, that quiet satisfaction, that is Kodawari. That is the beginning of a child who doesn't need to be motivated because they have become someone who is Kodawari. Not discipline imposed from outside, but pride that grows from within. It doesn't start at the homework table. It starts the moment you decide to trust them with something real. If this gave you something to think about, share it with a parent who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more on how the world's calmest cultures raise the world's most capable children. See you in the next one.